Hi, everybody. We are going to do another Boardmaker training. My name is Colleen Fritz, and I'm an assistive technology specialist. Let me go ahead and present my screen to you. And we're talking about Boardmaker software. And today we want to look at making a recipe. Okay, so how to make a recipe. I want to remind you that Boardmaker software is available to teachers that are in IND units, ASD units, pre-K units, and also to all SLPs. You can make so many different things with Boardmaker, and here is a list. You can make overlays for communication devices, manual and topical boards, visual directions or instructions, schedule boards, worksheets, recipes, and boards to support behavior management. So there's a lot that you can do with Boardmaker software. So today we're going to look at a recipe, and here's a copy of a recipe that I have made. And here is my printed version of that recipe too. We're going to make that recipe right now, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so let's go to Boardmaker software. And I will present my Boardmaker. Okay, here we go. Here's the Boardmaker software. And the first thing that we need to do is go up to File, click on File, and then click on New. All right, so now we have this electronic piece of paper. And the first thing I want you to notice is that this green dotted line is not next to the electronic sheet of paper. So you have to go into your print setup and fix that. And this is how you do it. You go up to File, go down to where it says Print Setup, and then you get a dialog box to help you to fix anything you want to fix. Right now, if you look right here, it says Orientation and it's Landscape. Well, as you can see, this is in portrait style, so we need to change that. So we're going to go to this button, Print Setup, click it, and now you can see I can choose Portrait and say OK. Now we look over here and we see that we have it in Portrait, but it's still not going to print correctly. We have to come up to the top and say Use Printer Page. That will line it up with the printer that you print to. There you go, and you could see that those numbers changed. Now when you look at it, this green line is right next to this electronic white sheet of paper. You can also tell that the orientation has changed to portrait style. Alrighty, so next we're going to make this recipe. And you can see that I have a number of boxes that I'm filling with ingredients and step numbers and step directions. So let's take a look at how we would do that. Part of this is just being good at eyeballing. So right now we are in the pointer tool, in the cursor, and you can tell that when you look at the toolbar because it looks like I've pressed that key in. What I need is this, the button tool. That's going to let me draw the size of the button that I need on the page. So I'm going to choose that. And I'm going to first just put a large box in. This is where I'm going to put my ingredients. Next, this is a 4-step recipe. So I'm going to put one box right here. Once again, I'm kind of just eyeballing it, and I want to make sure that it's in line with that. And I want the box next to it to be the same height, but I'll make it longer. So how do I do that? When this is selected, you'll see that it has an orange line around it. And I'm going to come up to this button, which is called the Button Sprayer tool, and click on it. Then come down. Now I'm going to click the left side of my mouse and hold it down. Don't release the click or it will not work. So click, hold, and drag. I'm just going to put one box there. I'm going to click on that box to choose it because this box I want to make bigger. So you can see that I've got the line that allows me to take this and bring it out so that's in line with this box here. I'm going to click off. So now I have step one and the place to write the step one direction. Now, a couple of things. Sometimes I like to go ahead and fill this partially in before I spray it. Let me show you what I mean. So if I come to my text tool, which is the A, I can come down, click here, and put number 1 in. Well, I know I want it to be much bigger than that, so I'm going to go up to my text tool and make that, let's see what it looks like at 36. It's still not big enough. So if you notice, the next choice is 72, but you can always choose other. And other, you can change the number to what you want. I have 50 there. I'm going to leave it at 50 and see how that looks. I think that might work. So I'm going to go back over here to my cursor or my pointer tool. And I want this in the center of the box. So I can either just click on it and put it in the center. The other option is to right-click on the box and look at alignment, center content in the button. And that'll put it perfectly in the center. So now I want to spray this down so that I have 4 steps. It's highlighted in orange, so it's ready. I click here, then I click and hold, and I drag down. Perfect. Click out, go back to my text tool. Now, when I click to the 1, I can just do 2, 3, and 4. And they're all the same font size, and they're centered in the button, which makes it really nice. So the other thing I want to do is put my direction right here. So I know that my direction is cut the apple in half and remove the core. So same thing, come back up to my cursor. I'm going to take a hold of this and put it in. Oh, well, it's way too big. So I'll go to my text tool, and I really need that to be a 14 or maybe a 16. All right. When looking at this, if it feels too small as you're looking at it, I want you to know that you can go into View and look at the actual size, and that might help you. So I put this exactly where I want it. And then I'm ready to spray this down. Let me make it so you can see. And I'm going to click here to choose the entire cell. Click down and drop all of those in. Now I'm ready to come back and just type in the other directions. Spread peanut butter on top of the apple. By the way, with your text, you can have it centered or you can just keep it left. I should have done that in the beginning. Now it's left, it'll work. Sprinkle Rice Krispies on top of the peanut butter. And my final direction, cut a sail, I didn't hit the left, for your boat from a thick slice of cheese and attach with a tooth. Once again, I want to come up to my text. I should have done this at the very beginning and made that left. Then I can come over and see if that fits in, and it does. So now I quickly have all of my directions and my numbers written in, and they're ready to go. I also want to put a title on here. So I'm going to say Max's Apple Boat. Change the size of that to be bigger, and you can move that to the center of your page. So when you're going to put your ingredients in, and the first ingredient is apples, I want you to take a look. And the apple pictures, there's not a picture with 2 or 3 apples. So what I do is I just take the apple, and the next thing I do, let's take a look at where I went. Go to the tools, and here it says labels on top. Let's say no labels. I say okay, and I put my apple in there. I'm going to close this. When you click on the apple picture, you can manipulate it. So now I'm going to make that apple smaller. And then I'm just going to copy that apple. I can do it several ways. I can come up here to edit, copy, or I could use my keyboard and done Control-C. So I'll copy, and then I can come back and paste. Now I have more than one apple. So when I say apples, I have at least 2 apples. If I want another one, I can put another apple here, and now I have 3 apples. The next thing I do, I put all of my ingredients in, but I also then come back and I type in apples. Then you'll need to make a decision about how big that should be. We'll make it 16. And then you move it to where you want it to be. And you're going to do this for each one of your ingredients. The other thing I do is I write right here, you will need. I put that right at the top of the box. And of course, I need to make that a smaller print too. Okay. So there you go. So I'll fill in all of my ingredients. And then I like to come down here and put in my picture of what I want that to be. So I want you to know that when you go into your library, I need a plate. I'm going to put the plate there. And it comes up with this message. Do you want to replace everything in the box, or do you want to add it to? Well, we want to add to. So now I have a plate in the box. The other thing is I need an apple in the box. Now I made this symbol, and I can show you how to do that in another training, but I'm going to click and put that right there. I'm going to add to again. I also need a knife. I'm going to add that. And then I'm going to close this. Now to make it easier, we're going to do a view of a double size. So when you double size it, you can really see what you're doing. So that's my knife. I'm going to move my knife over to here. Here's my apple. I'm going to change the size of my apple. Here's my plate. I'm going to make my plate larger. Move it into position. Take my piece of apple, put it on top of the plate, and then put my knife right here to show that I have cut the apple. Okay, and that's what you're going to do for each one of these. I find it to be easy if you take this whole picture, check, see how I did that again. If you take your cursor, notice you're still in your pointer tool, you're going to click and drag it over all 3 pictures. Now you have all 3 pictures, and you can copy that. And you can come down to this square and you can paste it. So you don't have to redraw it every time. So there it is again. This time I'm just adding peanut butter. If I'm just going to add peanut butter to this, I think I'll do it on my apple. I'm going to take, you notice when I clicked on the apple, just the apple, not the square, but the apple, this changed up here. My toolbar changed. And I can grab my pencil and a color. I'm going to do black. And I'm just going to draw a random shape that looks like I'm spreading my peanut butter. There it goes. Then I'm going to take the paint can, click on that. I'm going to get a color of what I think looks like peanut butter, and I can drop it right into that area that I drew. Go back to my cursor tool, and there. Now it looks like I'm spreading the peanut butter on top of the apple. Okay, so you're going to do that for each one of these boxes. You're going to create your pictures, and then when you're all finished, you will have your recipe ready to go. That's it. I'm going to do another training to show you how you can draw some of those pictures. So when you need a half an apple and Boardmaker doesn't have a symbol for that, I'll show you how you can make that. But that'll be in another video. Thanks for watching today, and I hope you start making some recipes. Bye-bye.